Welcome to the locker room, number 84. It's been a minute since we've been doing this together. Thank you for being here, Josh.
Sure has. Thank you for having me.
It's
really appreciated.
sorry for speaking over you.
No, you're fine. It's a nice, gloomy day here in Spokane. Temperatures of about 64 degrees.
Really?
Slight drizzle.
64?
64. Not 69.
Do you know what's not gloomy?
Sam Adams.
No, the absolute freaking Seattle Mariners.
Let's go.
Magic number is what? What number? What number do we have?
2.
Number
Magic
2.
2.
Thanks to the Orioles for losing once again today. This is actually the locker room. I'm pumped to be here. Thanks for actually showing up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
It's not like you have a kid on the way. It turns out we won't be able to do this ever again, but by the end of the month.
Not accurate. This is during normal business hours, so.
So
It's fine.
we get it. So you're gonna leave your poor wife Natalie home alone all day, and then what? You're gonna go home and actually take care of the kid for once?
Well, we'll see. I still have time to figure that out, but
Yeah.
But no, due October 27th. That's coming up.
We will be taking. If you want to put any estimates or any guesses as to the sex of the baby or the height, weight,
or the date of birth.
Yep. October 31st, spooky baby season.
My wife does not want.
Why?
She does not want a spooky baby. I don't
Why
know.
not?
She never loved Halloween, and I think Halloween is one of the most underrated
Bingo.
holidays out there. And it's not really a holiday, but
Sure it is.
Would you say it's underrated though? I feel like it is come to the point of its true rating within the last couple of years.
just because we're of age to celebrate Halloween outside of
Probably.
trick or treating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
It is definitely getting more respect, but it is still, I think, in the grand scheme, underrated.
It's for me. It's not even about the parties of late. I just remember trick or treating as a kid, and it was one of the funnest things that I look forward to every year. And then plus, I mean, more recently, it's been a uses booster seat night, eats uncooked hot dogs.
Yeah, thank
Woof.
you. That one's not great.
Nice
for me.
graphics. I like those. That's super nice. Nice balls. No, what I was gonna say is funny story for everybody who's listening out there, all three of you. Good story about our friend Joel Oakland at his house last year. Shoved our good friend Justin over here down the stairs, put a hole in the sheetrock with his big dome. So
That did happen, and he will admit it to this day, but ask any witness who was there. It happened.
it happened. It happened. So
He's not a very nice guy.
no, he can be a prick sometimes, but we love him. He's our prick.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's hop into it. Actually, favorite Halloween costume all time.
That I've ever worn?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, okay. There's some memorable and not so memorable occasions. I feel like Sam's about to say something back there. I would say my most memorable one, I had an inflatable sumo wrestler
When was that
suit.
one?
That was back in grade school. And then also I dressed up as a lumberjack with my friend Quentin Please, and we each drank a fifth of Jaeger. And that's that. So
Wow.
Those are like the two that I would say are most near and dear to my heart. What about you?
Big fan of Elmo back in the day. I wore Elmo when I was like 3.
Okay, that's soft.
And then I was Scream for a long time.
What about your Colonel outfit?
Yes.
And then
there it is.
And
Yes.
then 2 years ago, it was Colonel Sanders. One of the best costumes of all time. Brought a bucket of chicken.
That was a top tier outfit.
That
I'll
was
give you
great.
that. You put some effort into that.
I
It was
did,
quality.
and I was the second Colonel to go through the KFC drive-through. They told me that night.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're not original is what you're saying?
Hold
No,
on.
not,
I got to
not-
find this
not,
so we can
not the
zoom
most
in.
original. All right, well, okay, we can do that later. We have to talk
Okay.
about the number 84s in Seahawks history.
Number 84, first one that comes to
so
mind.
you're looking.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Okay.
not.
Sure.
Joey Galloway.
Can't read anyway.
Oh, actually, speaking of Halloween costumes, I
Yeah.
had a Joey Galloway
have
jersey
seen
with Seahawk helmet.
Yep,
So
that's
You
right.
want to do another Halloween locker room?
Oh, we could do a Halloween locker room later.
what day of the week is that on?
That's a Saturday? No, it's a Monday, I think.
Well, we could do it the week before.
You could do it the week before that week.
Yeah, that Thursday. It is a Monday. Thursday the 27th.
Yeah. That'll go well.
That
Doing
should-
it on a due date. But I'll have the phone on, so if I get a call, I can leave.
That'd be an exciting.
That would be
good one.
very
That would be
exciting.
awesome. In show. Oh, that would be pretty cool.
That'd actually be pretty insane.
And you're actually closer than if you were at the office, so maybe it is a good thing that you would be here.
True. Well, let's tentatively plan on it. We'll see what happens.
All right, Joey Galloway. What's next? What else do we have?
TJ, who's your mama?
That's what I told Sam before you got here.
Really?
About TJ, who's your mama? Yeah.
Yeah,
What an absolute bust.
Yeah, he was terrible with us. He was pretty
God.
good with Cincy.
It was really good.
But he had that gross rat tail ponytail
Yeah,
going down his
wasn't
jersey.
good.
Man, another 84. Bobby Ingram. Bobby Ingram was 84.
Underrated Seahawk. I think a
Very
lot of people
underrated.
don't talk about him, but he was the original Doug Baldwin.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Less athletic, but similar size kind of guys. I don't know when Bobby was drafted. Definitely drafted from somewhere in the
02?
Wisconsin. Oh, he was a Badger. I did not know that. All right, what else? We got a couple more. He was a second-round pick. Wow.
Number 80. I don't know any other number 84.
All right, I'll give him to you. Cooper Helfett.
Oh, boo. Terrible.
Current number 84, Colby Parkinson. Some upside.
Okay, he's had like 3 catches in 3 games.
Amara Darbo.
Oh, now he was a bust. He was a third-round pick,
was a
wasn't
bust.
he? Third-round pick?
Third or fourth. Maybe fourth, but yeah.
Terrible.
That was a big miss. And then Ed Dixon.
Ed Dixon, the former Baltimore Raven, if I remember
And
right.
former Oregon Duck.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, some good 84s actually in there. At least the first couple. Actually, by good, I mean 2. There weren't really any good ones after that. All right, let's talk about Aaron Judge. Did you see his home run yesterday?
I did.
Pretty cool.
Okay, but here's the thing also about this, though. He, just so I'm understanding correctly, he set the American League record, correct?
Right.
Okay, but he didn't set most home runs all time in a major league season.
There's like 7 ahead of him.
Because Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, Royd, jacked
roids.
up on roids. I don't think you can erase that from history. It's not like we can just ignore the fact that those people didn't exist. So
It was the Royd era.
I mean, it's cool. Who knows? I think the verdict's still out on whether or not Judge uses roids. The dude is
guy's a
absolutely
freak.
massive.
He is.
And he actually seems like a good dude. So
He looks like an idiot. Can we get a photo? Can you pull up Aaron Judge while I talk about him for a second? It's kind of odd that the 3 biggest home run hitters of all time, as far as single season homers go, were all NL guys. Was that ever kind of weird to you? I just was thinking about it when I saw the list. I was like, we got Cubs, Giants, and Cardinals.
Cardinals, right?
And for whatever reason, that's just how it worked.
He looks like a beast.
He looks like a beast, but his hat doesn't fit right. You get that.
Yeah. Oh, and you don't?
No, I have a normal sized head.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
Mine just hides a little bit better.
Yeah, mine's just accentuated by my baldness.
Yours is exposed right out in the open. Yeah, Aaron Judge, not bad, not a bad accomplishment. But what was a horrible scene on the part of the 61st home run? You see the guy's name who didn't catch the ball?
Something lasagna.
Frankie Lasagna.
That's actually his name?
Allegedly, yeah. That's what everyone's reporting.
It sounds like he'd be a New York fan, but he was a Blue Jays fan.
He was a Blue Jays fan through and through.
I'm not trying to
front row.
stereotype Italians being New York fans, but
sounds like you were. Gianni's not watching yet. You're lucky. He just said he'll be on in a sec.
Oh, thank God.
So he would have.
Can't wait for that. He's tuning in all the way from Iowa this week.
He just got there. He just got there yesterday.
Yeah.
Big time. Our buddy Gianni, who's an active, probably our most active listener, honestly, is now moved into Iowa. They're getting their Wi-Fi this week. HughesNet.
Nice.
No, not actually, but I don't know what sort of cheap stuff they have in the middle of nowhere. Frankie Lasagna, let's go ahead and play this clip all the way through of good old Frankie. So here he is right after.
That's after. Dude, look how sad he looks.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. So here's the blast. That's off his glove, and his glove isn't in position. If his glove was down, he's making that catch.
I don't know. That's not as easy as everybody's making it out to be.
It does hit his glove.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, if his glove's in position, if his glove's down.
I know, but look how bent over he is. Does he want to fall into the bullpen?
I'd fall into the bullpen.
That's fair, yeah.
You know how much that ball was projected to go for?
True.
$2 million.
Oh, dude, I actually feel super bad for him. Oh man.
Poor Frankie Lasagna. He said that he never usually brings gloves to a game, but he decided to this time because he would be front row. He said if only he had a net. If only he had one of those giant gloves. Have you ever seen those big giant gloves?
Oh, that's
they
so...
have at the home run derby, and it's like, it is sad.
That honestly, somebody needs to check in on our boy Lasagna.
I'd
be in a world of hurt after
I would
that,
not be in a
for
good
sure.
headspace after missing out on $2 million by
man.
like an inch and a half.
Poor bastard.
If that was Jordan McGowan, that would have been caught.
True. It's a good point.
Oh, Gianni's here.
Is he tuned in? Is McGowan tuned in?
He said he would be. Oh,
Nice.
Gianni's getting CenturyLink.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so he did tune in at the right time.
Nice.
The other piece of news about the 61st home run, hear what Sarah Walsh said?
No.
So her husband is the Blue Jays bullpen coach, Matt Bushman. Matt Bushman gave it up for nothing, and Sarah Walsh said, "Oh, cool. He just handed that back without checking to see if our house is still here. I'd like to announce our divorce." So she's threatening divorce because her husband gave back the ball.
That's pretty funny.
With nothing. Yeah, that was a big shame. Let's see, he wasn't forced to hand the ball. Yeah, so he wasn't forced. He just did it. Not a smart guy. A lot of dummies out there.
But what would he have done with the ball, though?
Kept it and sold it.
You're telling me a bullpen? No way they'd be able to keep it as an employee.
I'd hide it. I don't know where
of
it
the
went.
Blue Jays. You're telling me that he wouldn't have to give it back if he's employed by Major League Baseball?
Fire me. I'm a bullpen coach. I make what? $100,000 a year? Fire me.
Definitely more than that, but yeah.
Fire me.
I don't know.
I'll go
That's
get a new
tough.
job. How much do you think they make more?
I bet they make a couple $100,000 a year.
Probably, but I was hoping. Just go along with my argument. Okay,
Roughly
fine.
$90K.
Yeah, see.
200 to 360.
that was general
That's
coaches.
what I saw.
No, that was general. Listen to Sam. He's the producer. He's the smart guy.
What'd you say, Sam?
To be fair, this is just like the Google automated answer. It says roughly $90K.
See?
No way. What did you just look at?
I don't remember what
I
just
saw 200 to 360 on his.
Pitching. This is pitching coach. Pitching coaches make that much.
Isn't that what we just said?
No, he's not. He's a bullpen coach. He's a nobody. He receives the phone call and says, "Hey,
Okay.
and Andres Munoz, go warm up."
Okay. Well, okay. I thought he was the pitching coach.
Yeah,
but-
I would.
Okay.
I would have quit. I would have said, "Fire me. This is my ball now."
Yeah, but he did the right thing. So maybe Aaron Judge
There's
is
nothing.
going to give him a shout out.
There's no such thing as doing the right thing. No such thing. You do the
okay.
smart thing.
Okay.
Best thing for yourself. All right, let's keep it in baseball here. You see when Robbie Ray got ejected a few days ago?
Did he actually get ejected for that?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know that?
No,
They were standing there for like 3 minutes after the national anthem. Let's go ahead and toss this photo up of Robbie Ray and Luke Weaver of the Royals. So Luke Weaver and Robbie Ray were teammates for Arizona. I don't know how this came to be. I didn't read if there was any information about it. After the national anthem on the game, this was what, Sunday, somewhere in there, a few days ago.
Sunday.
I think Sunday. After the national anthem, both of them decided not to leave the field. So they're standing there just like this for 3 minutes. Guys are coming out, giving Robbie some water, putting some sunscreen on him, the fun stuff. Both ended up getting ejected because they did not listen to the umpires to leave the field because the game was delayed to get started because they were standing there.
That's awesome.
The best part about this is Robbie's a starting pitcher who pitched the day before. He got ejected, doesn't matter. Other guy there, Luke Weaver, hadn't pitched in 4 days. He's a reliever, so he kind of screwed his team in that regard.
Not really, because the Mariners were up 11-2 and then proceeded to lose 13-12. That was that day.
That was unfortunate because we were together that day at the doors with a few other buddies. But at that moment, it was just you and I when they started giving up the lead. And you had the Mariners on one side giving up that massive lead, and then you had the Seahawks on the other just not doing anything right.
It was that was actually really hard to watch.
That was a bad sports day.
Very, very bad sports day. Sports weekend, as a matter of fact, with WSU going down to Oregon. Again, Coug fans out there are going to hate hearing it, but there's a reason that they have the reputation and the slogan of Couging it.
Oh.
And that they did in epic royal fashion against number 15 Oregon in the Palouse.
Oregon's a better football team, but yes, it was not a great – they had plenty of opportunities. To be fair, the officials were brutal. There were 2 big-time calls that were missed that kind of killed them on time.
Okay.
I'm just saying they would have had more time to potentially come back and win that football game had –
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that they
that.
didn't give it all up, but Pac-12 officials are just absolute garbage.
They are. But it is pretty brutal when...
Like, they missed a whole down. Like, they completely just advanced.
That was bad.
And then they were like, we're going to replay those last 2 downs. And I was like, that doesn't help anybody. It just looks bad.
That was bad. And then, but again, I don't know what the deal was. And again, our friends are more avid Cougar fans than me. But their offense they played so well all day, and then for whatever reason they flipped the switch to being conservative, and they were just gashing Oregon all day. And I don't know why they decided to play conservative within 6 minutes to play.
Right.
But it ended up costing them the game, and then plus our defense. Oh my gosh, looks like the Seahawks defense out there.
They were just
giving
getting
up chunk play after chunk play. So.
Yeah. So we have a few comments here. I miss McGowan. He's been listening since we started talking about Judge. He's on YouTube right now. He says that Judge does not use roids, and then he said, "Who's Gianni?"
Of course.
And then he also said that he would have caught the baseball. That we were correct in assuming that he would have made that catch.
Could you imagine how much pressure's on you though?
Are you
like you're taking a super unathletic guy like Lasagna?
Whoa! You're assuming he could have been an athlete.
I'm just going to assume he's unathletic.
He could have been a community college baseball player and then transferred to like a D3 baseball school.
Okay, sure, whatever. But I'll say that guy does not give off the vibes of pure athleticism.
Not like you and I.
Yeah, for sure.
We definitely are kind of built like Frankie Lasagna.
But what I'll say is the amount of pressure that it takes to catch a ball like that. I mean, he was probably shocked that it was hit to him. Like it's probably 3/4 of the way there, and he's like, "Holy shit! Is this actually coming? Holy shit! It's coming! It's coming!" And then he tried to make a play, and it didn't work.
And he didn't. And he will forever think about that moment in his life.
Oh, for sure.
That guy probably makes $45K a year.
Why would you say
that? Would completely change his life. Well, he's Canadian. He doesn't make that much money.
It's very specific.
Everything up there is free.
Number 45K.
Doesn't matter.
Lord.
Let's see, what else do we have here? McGowan would like to know if he should start Chase Edmonds or Romeo Doubs. Doubs?
Chase Edmonds, not even close.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
The rookie wide receiver for the Packers is not great.
Jay would like to know what score you're going to shoot in Montana tomorrow.
How do you know I'm going to Montana?
Jay?
Who's Jay?
Jay Brown.
Oh.
Is that pretty funny?
Yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting that he has that Facebook. Yeah, Jay, I'm hoping to be in the high 70s, but we'll see. No promises.
I agree with what Jay has said as well, that Reed would have missed it 10 times out of 10.
Absolutely.
Did he say that?
Have you seen this guy at third base?
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you, we got to hire somebody to come out during
God.
softball and film our games.
I love when he comes back. He's like, I got hit by a softball again. And then he comes back the next week. I got hit by 2 softballs that game.
You know, you wear them. You have to wear them. Let's see. Yeah, third base.
They give you a glove for a reason, man.
There we go.
Dude,
Reed.
it's brutal sometimes.
And then McGowan said it's a $2 million baseball. You have to be ready. Are you serious? You know your role.
Oh, okay, for sure.
I agree. Okay. I completely
All
agree.
Right.
All right.
I just feel bad for the poor bastard. But.
I don't feel bad. Make a play. Let's talk about making plays. Mariners made some plays yesterday, enough to win. They are, like we said earlier, well in the driver's seat in making the playoffs for the first time since 2001, the longest drought in North American professional sports right now. Really awesome time to be a Mariners fan, actually. In the grand scheme of things, you know, we give them a lot of flack for not following through on things. Last season, they almost came through, but they're actually going to do it this year. Like their odds are so high that Fangraphs rounded up to 100%. That's how close they are.
Nothing's a given with this organization, though. Nothing's a given. We could lose out, and the Orioles will win out, and we're out.
You think?
I'm just saying, it could happen. I feel very confident, but Mariners fans are in no position to say it's a lock. Look at us. We have a history of just botching things.
I feel like every year you're like, they're doing it this year, and they're 1 game away, and every year you're like, they didn't do it.
Exactly.
They're going to
Last year. Case in point.
I think I took a screenshot of this. I had a memory on Facebook a few years ago. Did I screen?
Well, while you're looking for it.
Yes, I did. I said, this was back in 2014. What a fun season this year watching the Mariners. There definitely was a lot of ups and downs, but overall this was the best year since 2007. Their attendance increased by over 300,000 since last year. Hopefully they can build on this year, get some more offense, and finally make the playoffs next year for the first time since 2001. Go Mariners.
13 2014 years later.
So, and then 8 years after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, he just showed me something
pretty
nobody
funny.
needs to see.
That's pretty funny.
And this is back, keep in mind, this is back in the day, and friends that are watching this remember Reed when after every sporting event or political downfall or whatever it might have been, Reed was always going to be posting on Facebook. And I'll tell you, if people could go back and take a look at the things that this guy wrote on Facebook.
None of it was out of place. It was all very accurate.
Okay, for sure.
Did you disagree with anything?
No, it's not my place, though.
Interesting.
Anyhow, yes, Mariners, I feel very confident in them this year. It's just, again, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed.
Playoffs start next Friday, Wildcard. Mariners most likely will be on the road. Doesn't matter.
For all three games?
Yep.
Well, assuming it gets forced to a third.
Right.
It's for a 3-game series.
Exactly.
Right.
What do the Mariners need to do to win that series? Assuming that they will be making the playoffs. A lot can happen between now and then, of course. But assuming they make the playoffs, they get into that series, what do they need to do to advance to the next round?
They need to hit. I mean, it's really not that hard. The recipe's pretty black and white this year. And to be fair, I mean, our bullpen has been rough as of late, but they have every right to be playing rough. I mean, they've carried this team.
Multiple long stretches of time.
Long stretches. Well, pretty much all season, to be honest. And as long as our starting pitching just continues to do what they're doing, George Kirby has just been an absolute stud.
He hasn't allowed a home run in 13 straight starts.
Mariners franchise record, if I remember right.
It's probably pretty.
I think I heard that
overall.
it's a Mariners franchise record.
Yeah.
Robbie Ray is really turning it on as of late. He's pitching like the player that we traded for in the offseason. Luis Castillo, he signed, huge. That's a big signing. The guy I just think he's better against quality opponents. He has a really, really hard time with shitty opponents like the A's.
Right, and a lot of that's been kind of brought down to focus, and it's hard to judge a player's focus without actually knowing. But it does appear that that's the situation that he finds himself in, that the situational awareness as far as assuming that he can just take advantage of the guys who aren't very good, and then eventually it's like, okay, I just gave up 4 runs. Turns out giving up 4 runs is not where the Mariners need to find themselves. Not saying they can't score more than that, but their record clearly shows that when they score or when they allow, and Gianni's going to go back off of what I'm about to say. Gianni said score more runs than the other team. That's usually how you win baseball games. That's true. Very solid point. When the Mariners score more than 4 runs, it's very likely that they win the baseball game because of how great their pitching has been. But there's a lot of guys on this team who just aren't producing the way that they should be producing. I mean, we can go down the lineup, and I'll just go off the top of my head. J.P. Crawford. And I know your thoughts on him have really soured over the last 2 months.
They were sour at the beginning of the year. Everybody acted like because he got off to a hot April and May. Oh,
man, it was a hot like April, May, June. Like he was hot until almost the All-Star break.
The last home run he hit until a couple weeks ago was in May.
No, it was June 6th.
Are you sure about
that? Positive, 100% positive.
Okay. Either way,
I bet $2 million baseball on it.
I understand. Nice. That you can't catch.
I
understand.
That Frankie Lozano can't catch.
I understand shortstop's primary role on a team is not to hit for power. But damn it, you better be able to hit for some average. And it is absolutely brutal, especially with runners in scoring position.
He hasn't been barreling the ball up very much at all.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
All right, let's keep going around the diamond here. Ty France's actually been picking it up over the last week.
Ty's eating up.
I think he'll be okay. Second base, I mean, Adam Frazier. You'd like a lot more, but I think we know what to expect from him at this point.
He's been there, done that, though. I like his veteran presence in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Carlos Santana.
Absolute best trade that the Mariners made all year, outside of Luis Castillo.
You're gonna make Gianni pretty upset with that.
I'm sorry. Okay. Any Mariners fan agrees that I think the Mariners won that trade, at least for this year.
You have to assume that Wyatt Mills is looking on this trade and saw that Carlos Santana essentially gave the Mariners 8 wins, probably.
Call it conservatively 5.
Sure. You know, he's had, I think, 3 walk-offs, and he's probably had a couple more go-aheads. So, yeah, 5 to 8. And you have to imagine he's kind of looking at that, you know, being a hometown kid, being on the Mariners for a minute. He's probably frustrated that he can't be here for this sort of situation.
Absolutely.
But at least he was traded for someone who actually helped, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, at least he wasn't traded for someone who, like, kind of like something like the Seahawks situation where, you know, you trade someone that you just cut him right away. Like, he just wasn't worth it. So he has to, I don't know. We hung out with Greg Mills, his dad, a couple weeks ago, and I didn't have the balls to ask him, but I really wanted to be like, So, like, is Wyatt okay with the fact that the guy he was traded for is actually playing pretty well in the grand scheme of things? Essentially, Carlos Santana's going to do three things. He's going to hit a home run, he's going to walk, or he's going to get out. And I know those are, really the only three things you can do. Let me extrapolate on that. He's more likely than not going to hit a home run, right? He's not going to hit a home run every single time he comes up to bat. He's mainly there to walk once a game and then get out 3 times a game and then hit a home run every 5 games.
So what's your point?
You know what you're going to get is what I'm trying to say. So, like, when he comes to the plate, he's not like J.P. Crawford where, he's not going to get on base at all. Because J.P.'s not even walking right now. And so at least Santana is getting on base once, maybe twice a game.
Right.
And it's weak. He's not hitting a single. He's not hitting doubles. He's obviously not hitting triples. He's way too slow for that. But he's a guy who, and that veteran leadership, he's the oldest guy on the team, I think.
Yeah.
As far as I can think of. Let's keep going here. I guess sort of. So Suarez came back yesterday, went 3 for 3 with a walk.
With a walk.
3 for 3 with a walk. Very much key to this playoff success. He's starting at third today. So that's a really good sign for a guy who broke his finger 13 days ago, 12 days ago, whatever it was.
Kidding.
That was a very important part of their success. Gunner's here. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey.
Gianni said Greg was the heart and soul of this team. He means Wyatt. And then Jay Brown said, nope, kid was a dumpster. This Jay Brown guy.
Sorry.
This Jay Brown guy. Is he your friend?
I don't know the guy personally, but
he obviously knows you're going golfing this weekend instead of going to Seattle to watch the Mariners clinch the playoffs for the first time since 2001.
I know,
but
it's a bummer. It's a bummer.
Major bummer. Kelnick.
Been pretty pleased with him.
It's been only a week, but you have to be pleased with what you've seen. Big play yesterday, catching that deep fly ball and getting the ball in quickly to save a run.
Yeah.
I like his attitude. I think a lot of people are kind of seeing it as a guy who's not, very team friendly, not super approachable. But I think I kind of like it.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder for sure. I mean, you've got to believe that down at Tacoma, he's heard all of Seattle media, all the fans writing him off, wanting to get him on the trade block. But he's been a pleasant surprise here as of late. But, again, I'd prefer to see Julio Rodriguez out in center than
Monday.
Kelnick.
Yep, Monday.
And again, that's really what the key to this whole success. What the key is to the Mariners' playoff success, which is getting Julio back in the lineup. He's the lifeblood of that team, man. And without them, we're not going to go very far.
Right. And so I'm glad that he was placed in the IL. Got him healthy. Hopefully, in theory, they've been pleased with what they have seen. I'm going to miss him this weekend. McGowan's going to miss him as well. So McGowan, this will be his second trip to Seattle. Missed him the last time.
Yep.
At least we saw him in Boston when they lost both games. Kelnick will probably play left. You got obviously Julio in center. Mitch
Haniger's
really important too.
He needs to pick it up. Especially if he wants to get a deal next year.
I think
if he's flat for the rest of the year and he struggles in the playoffs, man, I don't know if we're going to re-sign him, or if we are, it's going to be at a discount because the market's going to dry up for him.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Haniger, with the history that he has with this team, again, the article that he wrote in the Players Tribune, just imploring for the Mariners to actually make some offseason moves to get us to this point. Cool. I think he's going to show up big time when we need him. He's just been a little flat as of late.
You have 3 pitchers for 3 games. Who are you going with?
Sorry, say it again.
For Wildcard, 3 pitchers, 3 games. Who are you going with?
I think you start Luis Castillo. That's no shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Ray, and then I think you give the ball to George Kirby.
I agree with the first 2 wholeheartedly. There's no debate. I don't think anyone can debate that. But that third spot,
I'd even go Robbie 1, and then
depending
Castillo
on matchup,
2.
maybe.
Yeah,
depending on matchup for sure.
I feel great with those guys being the number 1. However, they decide to do it based off of matchup.
I would agree with that. Kirby was kind of topping out at 94 yesterday, which was kind of weird. I'm not quite sure why it was like that.
All the dude does is throw strikes.
He does. It's actually pretty.
He goes
impressive.
after people, and he does not care. He's going to put it over the plate. And I will say I take him over Logan Gilbert for sure.
For sure, confidently.
Yep. With how they're both pitching right now, I know Logan Gilbert's been playing well,
right,
as of late, as in addition to Kirby. But you know what? Maybe Marco Gonzalez. Our buddy Jay Brown is a big Marco Gonzalez guy.
It's everyone has a problem with Marco, and I don't understand why, because he has the tied for the team lead in quality starts across Mariners pitching. But whatever, doesn't matter. Gianni said Mitch is bad now because he has no hair. Guy leaked out a lot of testosterone. Jay Brown, in all caps, said Marco is trash. All right, let's move it on to Seahawks. So it's going to be an awesome weekend. I hope they clinch. If they clinch Friday night, that would be perfect. If they clinch Saturday, that's still great. If they clinch Sunday, great, but still.
Okay, what question, Cave? Before we move on to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
When will your panic button be pressed for the Mariners? What if they lose?
Like
what if they get
swept?
swept this weekend? Are you freaking out?
No. No, because the Orioles would then also have to win every single game. If the Orioles win every single game and the Mariners lose every single game, then I'm feeling the pressure. Because then you have 4 games left against the Tigers.
To be fair, Mariners are actually pretty lucky.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
the Orioles they've gone on a skid.
They've completely gone on a skid. Yo, they're
know.
for sure lucky. But for once, something actually goes the Mariners' way. It's crazy when you could play bad and someone else can play bad and you don't get completely screwed by outside forces.
But not to be devil's advocate here, though, is there an asterisk this year because of the extra wild card spot, and we're going to get the third wild card spot?
I've thought about this. I have, and I am ready to say that the third wildcard spot is an okay spot to get. I'd rather get the third wildcard spot than the second, purely based off of just wanting to advance further in the playoffs. I would also love to get the first one because I would love to have home playoff games.
I understand that, but
no, there's no asterisks.
Really?
No, because there would have been an asterisk in the COVID year when you only played 60 games.
Right.
That when we were like way too close and we tanked at the end, thankfully. That would have been a year if we made the playoffs. I would have been furious. But the third wildcard spot is here to stay. It's not a temporary thing.
I know.
So it is what it is.
But you know what sucks about all that?
What?
Is the Mariners this year, if there wasn't a third wildcard spot, we'd be in the same position as years prior. Oh, we're just a game or two away. So it's unfortunate that this is the first year of the third wildcard team.
Right.
But, again, we'll take it. We're not going to complain after a 21-year hiatus from the playoffs.
Right.
So,
and as of, let's see if this is still the case. The Mariners are the 4th best team in the AL. They were the 3rd best for a while. Cleveland's gone on a bit of a hot streak. They're 8-2 in their last 10.
Right.
All right, Seahawks, real quick. We knew what they were going to be. They weren't going to be they're going to be a below average football team that was going to compete in every single game. They should have competed better against the Niners. That was super frustrating. They're going to compete this weekend. I think they could win this weekend. They could beat the Saints. At home against the Cardinals, they could easily win. I just don't like Kyler Murray. They're still going to be over that 5.5 game over-under that they have on their win total.
I agree.
Offense is fine. Offense is looking pretty darn good and
Geno
has looked
Smith actually looks pretty decent.
Even in the Niners game, they didn't have very many options because the defense just left the Niners on the field the entire game. But Geno's I think he's 10th in QBR, and Russ, by the way, is 24th, which is super funny. I am just as big of an anti-Broncos fan this season as I am a Seahawks fan.
Wow. That's what happens when you don't have much to play for.
And which is fine. There is nothing wrong with being such an anti-fan of another team, mainly because their success completely dictates one of your draft picks, which is a very weird thing to have. Because I don't remember the last time where we had, I don't know if ever, I don't remember how we got that second first-round draft pick in 2011. Do you?
In 2011? What?
In 2010?
What's the question?
When we got both Okung and Earl Thomas, why did we have 2 first-round draft picks?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know.
I have no idea. We'll have to go back and look. But essentially, that's what I mean. When was the last time where we were in a position that we were watching another team that was going to dictate our draft spot? It's a very weird spot to be in. Broncos suck, and they have looked bad. Sam?
Just on topic football. We're a couple weeks in.
Yep.
Predictions on Super Bowl.
Oh, boy.
Bills?
Just because we're early.
Right.
And I like to see what you guys think and how accurate it becomes. If accurate at all.
Oh, man.
Right now, Bills, and I'm not confident in them, but probably Bills, Eagles. But I'm not confident, based purely off of what we have seen. But I like the Rams. Still.
I could see
Bucks will be fine.
I was going to say I could see Bills Bucks.
Yeah. Bills for sure the best looking team in the AFC. So are the Chiefs though. Chiefs are looking a lot better since week 1. Those are our predictions for now. Gianni said I'd rather make the playoffs than my season be over. Gunner said Lions are going to bend us over.
Oh, Gunner's saying that because his dad's a Lions fan.
Jay agreed.
No,
I think Gunner said Jared Goff's going to carve us up like prime Mike Vick.
Prime Mike Vick.
Very similar play styles.
Yeah, super similar. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, and I think whoever wins it on a field goal.
Interesting. I think it'll be a touchdown and a half.
Okay. What's the spread? Have you looked?
I think the Seahawks are like 4.5 underdogs or something.
That makes sense. Lions have been playing well. I will say.
Yeah, but they're not going to have Swift or St. Brown or their top safety.
True. What I will say about just the Lions, I actually kind of like the Lions, especially because of late with Hard Knocks. Finally, my wife, who hates football.
She doesn't hate it.
Mostly because I watch too much of it. But she's super into Hard Knocks. She loves watching the Lions. She's like, hey, we're going to watch the Lions tonight? I'm like, what? Hard Knocks. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm into it. If she's into watching Hard Knocks and it gets her into football, I'm all in. So I actually really like Dan Campbell too.
Dan Campbell's a good guy.
And how could you root against the Lions? So
I agree.
I just hate going back to Ford Field because that's where we lost Super Bowl 40.
When it was stolen from us.
True.
Stolen.
True.
Absolutely just thieved away.
True.
All right, let's start some jabronis here, Sam. Let's start with Russell Wilson. Let's play this video that there of PFT, please, sir.
Hey, you want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous? Oh, jeez. That is dangerous. I've done something like that, too. I won't tell anybody. Listen, one time, never mind. That's too dangerous. Anyways, my Danger Witch, it's only in the vault. That's our little secret.
Ugh.
I think the most dangerous thing Russell Wilson has ever done is line up across from Aaron Donald.
Wow.
That was rough to watch.
Man, I don't know if we were blind to it when we were Seahawks fans. Because, again, I always knew he was cringe. As our buddy Chapman says, he's a cornball. I always knew that. But I think ever since he and Sierra, got married, he's changed into a different dude. He's Hollywood. And it's unfortunate to watch. And it's really, really cringy when you watch it when it's somebody else's team, especially.
Yeah.
I don't miss that whatsoever.
We've always known that on some level, but it definitely has taken on a completely new angle, like you said, when it's not the guy that you root for. It kind of, not quite this, but it's very similar where there's a guy who's an absolute douchebag on your team. Richard Sherman, that's a great example. He's on your team, you love him. The best thing about that is he didn't really play super impressively when he left, so he wasn't able to get in people's faces as much. But you love these kind of guys when they're on your team, and you make every sort of excuse up in the entire world to defend this person. You'll defend them to the death, and then they go somewhere else, and then you're like, oh, God, and you just feel the full brunt. And then you kind of look back on some of the other stuff that he said when he was with the Seahawks, and you're like, oh. But a lot of it too comes at the very end, like toward. You mentioned Sierra, and I don't want to blame her, but it kind of feels like that's how it goes. I mean, I don't know. It's
Hollywood.
It's very Hollywood. It is very Hollywood.
Cornball. I mean,
yeah. It happens. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I will say I don't miss him in the slightest.
Right.
Honestly.
Yep.
And I think the Broncos will figure it out. They're not going to be this bad all year.
Right.
But man, I will say, and I was here for weeks upon weeks talking about how much I hated Geno Smith and how I didn't want him to be the starter. I will say, man, he's looked very solid. I'm not saying good, but solid. He's done his job.
What did I say?
You said you wanted Geno. You're right. Reed was right through 3 weeks. There's a long way to go.
Hey,
We do have that on recording, so
thank you.
Nice.
I will listen to. That'll be the last thing I play to myself before I go to bed every single
you're
night.
right.
That'll
he's
be
been
your
solid.
ringtone when he calls.
Yeah, exactly. Reed is right. Right.
He's been solid. I hope he continues to play, but our defense has been
That's figured out.
extremely underwhelming. So we'll see. Hopefully we can button it up against the Lions.
All right, it's been rainy today, and you spoke this earlier about how frustrated you were.
Oh,
what
my
is your jabroni of today?
Okay, this might be old man yelling at the clouds, but take a look. Next time you guys are out driving, just take a look around. Notice the rainfall, notice its severity, and take a look at when people have their windshield wipers going a million miles an hour. You know there's a dial on those things, and one thing that is my biggest pet peeve that drives me absolutely freaking insane is when people have them going full blast when it's barely raining out. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm sorry. These people, I don't understand it, and they need to get their heads checked because it makes absolutely zero sense why you would have the whole damn thing going a million miles an hour. Sorry, almost dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah, that got heated.
But honestly, please, do yourselves a favor. Pay attention when it's raining out. Look around.
Check that dial.
Check that dial, and also check those others around you.
And so if you're one of those people, look at how fast other people's windshield wipers are going and adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
I mean, now, is there an age limit? Like, if the person's 86 years old who's driving, like, is that okay? Or is there, like...
No.
Okay.
Why would somebody want their windshield wipers going a million miles an hour when it's just drizzling? Wouldn't that drive you nuts?
It does. I'm right there with you. It does bother me.
Sam, help me out here.
Okay. With these cars that you're having issues with, are they older model cars or newer model cars?
Newer.
All of it. All the above.
Because I know there's older model cars. I had an older model car that one would be so slow, and then you knock it up once. It's like...
There's like three options.
Like 3 settings. Low, medium, or high.
See, I had a car that had 2 options. And it was low or you are scraping your windshield off.
I do not discriminate. It is all different types of vehicles and ages.
We have windshield wipers too fast from Gunner, and Scotty said, get off the road, Grandpa. All right, let's hustle through this. I don't want to watch the video because we don't have enough time. This day in sports history, Willie Mays, you have a couple minutes. Willie Mays had his over-the-shoulder catch. Say, hey, Willie Mays, great catch. Birthdays this day in 1907, Gene Autry.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Great Christmas album.
Yeah, and do you know he also was back in the saddle first?
Really?
Yeah.
Back in the saddle.
And speaking of Seahawks defense, Ken Norton Jr.'s birthday is today. Maybe you can give some pointers to the linebackers to tackle a little bit better.
He's unemployed, so.
Calvin Johnson.
Megatron.
And Kevin Durant.
Slim Reaper.
Yep.
Drama queen extraordinaire.
But
can't stand to watch him.
But he was ours first.
True. I used to really love the NBA. With all these people and the player empowerment, it is so awful and annoying, and these entitled bastards that play 10 games when they feel like it. Then all these kids and all these fans that pay hundreds of dollars to come watch me. I'm just going to sit my ass on the bench and do nothing. Get out of here. Sorry, drives me nuts.
So let me just give it to you straight.
And I'm really frustrated.
You talk and type and write for a living. So yeah, there's a lot of excuses that you wouldn't have. These guys play and they put their bodies on the line every single day. You just wouldn't get it.
Okay, give me at least a half, and play half-ass. Your half-ass is still better than 90% of the NBA.
Do you want them to hurt themselves more?
I don't care. The Nets were terrible anyways.
Whoa.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I just think I think you're looking at this the wrong way.
Okay. Next.
Well, that was it.
Oh, is that it?
We don't have enough time to do the pizza topic.
We will save the pizza topic for next time.
So in 6 months, when we see you next, we'll do the pizza.
No, it won't be 6 months. It'll be
put it in the schedule
next
right now.
week or next.
Put it in the schedule
next week or the
right
following.
Here. Pull up your schedule. Let's put it in. This is perfect. Let's put it in the schedule right now.
Nobody needs to hear this.
This is the kind of planning that I've been looking for.
Right? This is what we need. Let's see.
Sam, come on. Can you do it on Fridays?
I can do it digitally. I can do it remotely on Fridays.
Next Thursday doesn't work. So Thursday the 13th in the early afternoon, maybe.
We can talk.
God.
We'll figure it out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We certainly appreciate it.
And, for what we've had to deal with over these last few years, the Mariners have put us in a position to dream big, potentially to dream on, and dream until your dreams come true. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.